Okay. Hello, all. Welcome to Black Girl in the World. If you don't know me, you will. And if you do, welcome back. So happy to have y'all present here with me. Happy February and happy Black History Month. I love being Black, y'all. This episode, we have a special guest today with us. She is a driven entrepreneur who loves sharing tips on how to help your business. From her organization, the research departments, to her own podcast called Research Show, and her new book, the B.Y.T.C.H book. Thank you so much, Miss Dawn Williams, for being here with me today. How are you?
I'm doing great, and thank you so much for having me.
Oh, I'm just so glad. So please tell me, let's dive right into it. What made you become an entrepreneur?
Oh, I was 9, and I just recall both my parents worked for the government until they retired. And I just remember them being so upset, particularly at their supervisors. And one day I asked my daddy, what does it mean when you don't have a boss? And he said, that means that you're an entrepreneur. So I'm like, what's an entrepreneur? He was like, that means you're your own boss. So from there, I was like, I'm going to be an entrepreneur. And then by the time I turned 11, I knew what kind I wanted to be. So my first love is hair. I own a hair salon. So hair is my first passion.
Okay. Oh, that's nice. I love that.
Yeah.
So, with hair, is there any other, do you have other branches of businesses other than hair?
Oh my goodness, yes. I just got off a call with, every time I talk to somebody who's like a consultant, they just be like, you're all over the place. So it's always like, I always get ideas. So yeah, the research departments it branches off into a whole lot of little things by itself, its own little web. So like I was explaining earlier, most entrepreneurs have problems because, well, just like any other person, but they work full time most of the time, and then they have the side hustle. So that's why you see the workplace bullying, on the website.
Yes.
Dealing with seniors, because you might be a caregiver for an elderly parent. You might have custody issue, anything, So that in itself branched off into different things. Then I got the cranking shop. Oh my gosh, that's snacks. So I haven't dove full-fledged into it because it's important to work on one project at a time. So honey, I sell paparazzi. It's so many. I didn't even list them. It's absolutely ridiculous how many, but it's important to focus. So we on the research departments right now. And then the book, oh my God. Look, the book, that's this whole nother, whole nother thing.
Well, I'm just really excited that even though you have so many ideas and you're executing, from what you're telling me, executing almost every one of them, it seems like you really have a good schedule together.
Yes, Google Calendar is my friend. So, and then I have my youngest baby who's 12, so I irritate the mess out of him because you can imagine how ridiculous it is trying to organize everything. So I can only give him a few hours a week because I don't want to, drive him to quit.
Yes, I understand.
He'd be so mad at me. Like, mommy, I'm just going to give you an hour today and that's it, So I got to pay him good for that hour. Okay.
Oh, I'm just so happy that he's helping his mommy.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Earlier you mentioned the book. Yeah. Now, when I saw it at first, I was like, what is going on?
I know. Let me explain the name. Let me explain the name because I don't even be saying it all the time. I just will spell it out. But the name is, the only reason why I named it that is because my husband is excellent at naming things. So, for example, he named Michelle Salon. He named the snack shop, the cranking shop. I believe he didn't do the research department. You can see how plain that is. That's me. I named that. So when I said I'm about to do this book, because I took a book writing class, that's a 6-week class, I said, I gotta come up with a name for this book. He said, yeah, call it the B and then use a Y. So then when I said I gotta use it like it was an acronym. So yeah, it originally started out like the curse word, but then when I'm taking a book writing class, the teacher, he's saying, he said something while I'm listening, building your Trojan horse. And I said, let me just throw the C in there and say creative, because so that's where, if you really look at what a Trojan horse is and the mythology, the Greek mythology and what it represents, it makes perfect sense, because I'm getting in your face with this book. It's really about my experiences as an entrepreneur. That's the emotional side. So I think that I didn't understand, and I'm talking about once you get a physical space, a brick and mortar, that is overwhelming. It's unbelievably overwhelming, because what you think you're going to battle is not what you're going to battle, or at least not for me. I thought it was going to be the county and state regulations. No.
Yeah.
Is that the first thing that you think? The county and state? Right. That's what I thought. Because I was like, oh my God, I'm going to get a horrible person that works for the county that's going to be like really picky. No, not at all. Them people, as long as you respect them, they don't care. You know what I'm saying? Just don't test their power. They'll go ahead and tell you what you need and they'll pass you. I passed that with no problem. My problem came from the landlord. That's the first chapter. And my goodness.
Yeah, she was definitely the title of this book.
Yeah, because I was trying not to curse. I didn't curse in the book. I had deleted the curse words out of the book because I didn't want it to be like vulgar. So, but the first title, it did say the B, the geriatric B. So I turned it into the geriatric psycho. This lady is above and beyond. She's not even listening. It's crazy. She on the other side of the rainbow. This was insane. It was like, it's almost if like I made it up. I'm serious. If you really understood the stuff that she did, like, and I don't even know if you got time to listen to one of the particular stories, but it's up to you. I don't know how long your podcast is.
No, please. I would love for you to share. Yes.
Okay. So this particular lady, okay. Whew. By the time we got a month in, I had an assistant at the time, and she called me. So I'm at work trying to still put up the brick and mortar. So I'm working at the same time, right? At a different location. And she was like, Dawn, the lady is opening up people's mail. And I'm like, what? This lady about 70, 80 years old. So I was like, take a picture. And she took a picture and she really was opening up the tenant's mail. So the thing is that she had it so that the post office would not deliver the mail to the building. They delivered it to her house 2 doors down. So yes, that's illegal. But her whole thing was, who gonna stop me? And nobody was. It was like crazy. So I told the post office, can you, change the lock to the cluster mailbox? It was 2 or 3 different occasions. They said they couldn't find the building. The post office said they couldn't find a building. Do you hear me? The post office. Really? So yes. So I said, forget this. I'm just going to go ahead and hire a locksmith. They told me I couldn't do it. I didn't care. I hired a locksmith. Honey child come out her house in a robe. This is August. In a robe, no, a trench coat with a robe underneath of the trench coat. Cursing and screaming. You hear me? So I'm talking about bedroom slippers type, coming out like a reality show. Coming, screaming. Then so the locksmith mouth just dropped. You know, he like, oh my God. And my mouth dropped because she's old. Like, it ain't like some young chick coming out like you about to box. This is an old lady, okay? So she come out screaming, calling all types of bees, takes the locksmith tools, throw it across the lawn. Do you hear what I said? Throw it across the lawn. And then, so that was like the first altercation. So it ended up, we had our battles back and forth, but she was silent for a period of months, and I couldn't figure out what happened because I know she couldn't be finished because she crazy. This heifer waited till the first day of summer. It was a heat wave, and she cut my air conditioner off. And so, this is what I learned. In commercial tenancy, it's no rules. In Maryland, I live in Maryland. So she could do that legally. and I couldn't do nothing about it unless it was specifically in the lease that she is not to cut off. You got to make the lease like your Bible. That's what I learned in Maryland with commercial leases. So she cut it off. So I'm in a black hair salon. You know, we sit under the dryer, right?
Right. Yeah.
So that's absolutely impossible to basically be servicing. I got a lot of natural hair clients. How you sitting under the dryer with locks, you know, or pressing curl and you sweating throughout the whole process? She was like forcing me out of business. It was like crazy, you know? Wow. So like it's different things I went through that I wish somebody could sit down and talk to me, because business lawyers cost a lot. It's not like pro bono if you're going through custody here. No, it's like you're going to come out the pocket at least $3,000 to even talk to a business attorney. So I was just alone and scared. And I was like, man, I wish I had somebody to help me or just guide me through it. So that's the purpose of my book, because it's kind of like not spoken about. Like when I talk to other commercial business owners, all of them going through pure hell, all of them. Like the ones that's in Maryland, I haven't talked to one commercial business owner that is not fighting their landlord. Not one. So it's a way of how you got to negotiate. Look at what we just went through with the pandemic, you know? So I had to fight my landlord. That I ended up moving. So I learned how to fight properly, right? So
yeah.
I
can completely understand, and I'm so glad that you stepped out of that, because where my friends stand, we're all talking about businesses and stuff, but we haven't reached the point where it's like, okay, well, we need to find a place to really expand our business, and
right,
that there's issues.
Honey, let me tell you something. You have no idea what you about to step in. You hear me? It's not for the faint of heart. It is not for the faint of heart. And I'm sure everybody experienced that. I moved to a salon suite concept. Have you ever heard of that? Where It's like, okay, so a salon suite concept means that it's a building and everybody in the building has a salon. So everybody has their own individual suite. So a lot of my co-tenants, they had to shut their suite down and leave because they didn't know how to negotiate with the landlord. Because think about it, we had to go 3 months without working. And then when they opened up the world again, that man won his money 2 weeks in, and he said he wasn't giving a discount, right? So what are you supposed to do? What would you do if somebody told you that? You hadn't worked for 3 months, right? Mind you, you got your own mortgage, you have children, you have groceries, right?
Right.
What would you do? What's the first thing you would do?
Cry.
I know, right? But see, me, Dawn, I don't look. This ain't my first rodeo. I told him, you gonna get what you gonna get. What you gonna do?
Right.
Because I mean, what you gonna do? And I basically said it. I said it in a professional manner, but I lit him up in that email, and I tagged the governor, as if they care. But I tagged the governor and the county executive, and I believe it was like a couple people that's in authority that I tagged to the email, so that if he wanted to go as far to try to put me out illegally, it's illegal. People don't know that they can't illegally put you out. Like it's they got to pay you if they lock you out or something like that. They got to pay you. But I didn't know that prior to me fighting that first cycle. You see what I'm saying? So I was just looking at him like, look, I'll pay you back when I can. It's not like I'm not gonna pay you back, but you're gonna get what you're gonna get. I gave him about a fourth of the rent the first month, and then I gradually went up. So I'm gradually paying him back now for last year of being back. You see what I'm saying? But I'm trying to explain that to my other co-tenants, and I get it. It's fearful. They were scared, and they just was like, forget it. I'm just gonna leave, and a lot of them left. So that's, my book is like and so is the business. It's a support system. I know what you're about to get into. It is horrifying. It's like jumping out of a plane without a parachute. That's what entrepreneurship is. You is jumping out of a plane without a parachute, but I want to hold your hand the whole way down, So I'm telling you, the book It's eventful, honey. It is not no little boring book. It will keep you like, what?
Yes, from the preview of what I read, I was just like, wow, like what is
yes, ma'am.
on with
yes, ma'am.
Just how people are, like how people just treat people. And it's not people in authority. It's literally people who said that they're leasing this location.
Yes. Yes. And you know, I was saying that too on another interview I was on. It's important to understand the why, right? I mean, my brain, and my husband was just saying, you think too deeply into stuff, right? Because I'd be like, how come they're this crazy and this and that? So it took me 10 years to understand. And I'm not talking about, I'm talking about like throughout my life. Like over the past 10 years, it took me to understand the why behind why you see people manipulate to that level. And then once I understood it, I was like, well, shoot, I wouldn't have wasted my time. I wasted this whole 10 years because it don't matter. But I'm going to tell you the why, Miss Tashika. I'm going to tell you the why.
Yes, ma'am.
This is why you see it. Because it's a problem-solving strategy. It's a form of bullying. When you see people behave in this manner, it's, you know, horrible. It's a problem-solving method. They're not used to using creative ways of solving problems. They're used to scaring people into submission. And it's effective. Because look what happened. I left. Think about it. Think of how many times you've gone through things and people act a complete fool. You'd be like, F it, I'm just going to go to another store. You see what I'm saying? Who really going to sit and fight, right?
Right.
And believe me, I don't fight every battle because I'm not going to get no heart attack. But it's certain things you going to get this fight. Just like this landlord that I went now. Oh, I was ready, honey. He going to try to put me out in this pandemic. Oh, he was going to get it. As much as I work for this freaking business, like I was ready. But it's other things like you got to pick your battles, but you have to understand if you take the personal part out of it, stop thinking. I thought I was all sensitive and stuff at that point. And I was like, oh, she doesn't like me. Business isn't about who likes you. It doesn't matter. You're not there. You're not going to like all your clients, and all your clients is not going to like you. You're not going to like your landlords more than likely like your landlord. And who cares? It's about, did the check clear? That's all it's about. So when you take your feelings out of it, then you'll understand it's bigger than what you think it is. And you just focus on what you're supposed to be doing, because it's a waste of time trying to reason with it. And what I found out later was somebody ended up telling me she had a drinking problem. So she would do stuff like breaking the salon when I'm not there. Like I gotta be careful with my wording. She had an intoxicated appearance. I can't say she was drunk, but if you come in the salon in a bathrobe, slurring your speech, screaming, I would assume that she was under the influence or something.
Exactly.
So it kind of made me go, oh, but then I didn't understand why she continued to behave this way. Well, see, she had to hurry up and get me out. You see what I'm saying? I was waking up the other tenants. She needed all of them to submit to her. You see, and I was like, you can't open up my mail. You can't have my mail delivered to your house. You can't, you see what I'm saying? I'm questioning everything. So, you know, she's been doing that for some years. She in her 70s, you know? Bullying is only a problem-solving technique. That's all it is. They don't know how, like me, like, okay, and like I was saying, this is the lady's problem. She had tenants that always left, right? So she didn't feel like replacing the mailbox key. I found that out from the post office. So they were saying, well, you still gotta get him a mailbox key. So that was her way of solving the problem. Don't give nobody a mailbox key and had a mail delivered to her house. As opposed to solving the real problem is, why is all your tenants leaving? Isn't that the real problem?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So instead of her she can't solve that problem because she knows something wrong with her. And then she can't think that far to solve that problem. See, me, I'm used to solving problems. So if I got a client come in and say, my hair's falling out, I'm not going to be like running game on her, try to convince her she did it. I'm be like, okay, what did you have to eat? What kind of medication you on? Are you under some type of stress? You see what I'm saying? I'm figuring out problem solving strategies because I'm not manipulative. I'm like straight up, you know, going into let's solve this problem, right? And if you're that type of mind that's a problem solver, you're excellent for business. And it's just a matter of, that's how you're going to be able to tackle when you do get your brick and mortar. That's how you're going to be able to tackle whatever you come across. I'm telling you.
Right.
You got to understand what the heck is going on, take your feelings out of it. So I'm telling you.
I just love how passionate you are, especially just actually hearing it through the book now that I'm listening to you, and just hearing that through the book and expressing all of that, because not a lot of people talk about the ins and outs of, landlord and tenant issues when it comes on to businesses. I hear about it, with like living and stuff and
yes
things, but no one really talks about how hard it is to not only get clients, but have that communication with their landlord.
Yeah, it's embarrassing. I was humiliated, and I'm not an easily embarrassed person because I'm an open book, which you're going to see literally in the book. I am not easily embarrassed, but I was humiliated because when I had to leave the location, it was a mutual decision between me and my husband. And he was like, "Are you saving any money? How much money you got saved?" I said, "None." He said, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" And so I didn't want to downsize because it felt like I was failing. I felt like a failure. So I moved from like a 700 square feet salon to maybe at least probably about a third of that size. But it's just me in the salon suite, and I'm able to save money. I was able to grow my brand, making more money. And then it was like, right, what was I doing? But that transition when I left that salon, and then I was simultaneously working at a nursing home. So I had to do clients out of a nursing home for like about a month, right? That was humiliating because I didn't even know what to put on social media that my address had changed. I didn't even know what to do. I didn't know how to update my Google address listing because I was humiliated. So, and then I just felt like just this failure, and I didn't have nobody to ask. And I felt horrible. And so I understand why people don't talk about it, because it's embarrassing. And then it's like, well, that's your fault. You didn't do good because there's something wrong with you. Because from outward appearances, yeah, it do look like it was something wrong with me. I wasn't doing right. But in hindsight now, looking at it, if I could have did anything different, I wouldn't have taken it personal. It was not about me. It was bigger than me, right? And I want to help people because there's a lot of people that are horrified. I get calls all the time, text, "I'm scared." These entrepreneurs are scared. You hear me? And I'm talking about people who don't even have a physical location. It is horrifyingly scared. Believe me, I had those mornings, but I just be like, nope, I don't care. I'm fighting myself. I'm like, nope, you're going to get up. You're going to make this post,
Right.
and keep going. So my whole thing is like, I want to motivate you and then also be your support system. So the packages that I'm selling on the research department, it actually has 30 minutes a month of you need to talk to somebody. You might just need to be like, "Dawn, I don't even understand." Another thing, for example, people not used to rejection. Like you and I believe 2 other people were 3 out of maybe 50 that said yes to a podcast interview. But your average person, wouldn't your feelings be hurt if out of 50 people, only 3 said yes?
Yes.
But the guy in the book, it was so interesting how he put it. His name is Kyle Dendy, and he has like a $36 book writing course. He'll walk you all the way through it. And he said, if you have a 20% turnover and it's like 20 people out of 100 say yes, that's a good turnover because that means 20%. And I said, isn't that interesting how he flipped it and made you look at it different? And the key to entrepreneurship that people gotta understand is most people are gonna tell you no. You need to accept that. And that's hard. That is hard. You gotta get out your feelings and know most of the people you is DMing, most of the people you're gonna be on a phone call with, who you out in the street passing a car to, they're going to tell you no. But you still have to be like, I don't care.
Yeah.
And just be like, hey, I know 2 of y'all gonna say yes.
I know. You just gotta put yourself out there.
Yeah, and get out your feelings. And my whole thing is I'm gonna help you and I'm holding your hand through it. Cause it's I think we don't support each other and tell each other that we doing great. Like the young lady, her name was Kenya, who I interviewed with. That was my first interview. And she was like kind of almost self-doubting. And I said, girl, please, you got it going on, girl. you 31, you got your podcast, this and that. And you could just see her whole face light up when I said it. And we don't do that to each other. Not even just specifically in the African-American community. white people as well. It's like, I think people don't understand that they're doing it to each other the same how we tear each other down, the same. And we don't tell each other, you're doing great. Like I got a couple white people on, like Paul, that's one of the guys, he's my vendor. I got one of them numbers where it's like call, like text Dawn to 22452 like that. And I'm like, Paul, can I get you on this podcast and say this? And he was like, when he talked to me afterwards, he was like, I didn't sound this. I said, you sounded great. You know, and I think we're not used to like saying the positive things about each other as independent contractors and entrepreneurs. We're just like, you know, it make you, I get it. It's the insecurity. It make you feel like I'm not doing good enough, you know? And I want to encourage whoever it is, you know?
Yeah. And I just love that. It's amazing. Just knowing you now and just knowing the kind spirit that you have to just say, hey, like you got it going on, even though you feel like you may not, like you don't have to be too hard on yourself.
Right.
Yeah. I love that. That's amazing.
Right. Because it needs to be said. I know when I was in my 20s and I was in this shop and I was doing really good and my life and I'm going downhill right after that. And that's in the book as well. Where I was doubting myself. But I remember I had like 2 cars, just like I do now. It's like the same. I had my own place, like, you know, dressing cute. I ain't had no kids. I had it going on, girl. And then my coworker, I was doubting myself because I swear I had like $1,000 in my pocket and I probably had like another 1,000 in the bank, right? This is like probably almost 20 years ago. And then I was like thinking, I'm not saving enough. I need to have at least like this amount. And she was like, Dawn Michelle, you got it going on. And I was like, me? She said, girl, you got your own clientele. You got this, you got that. And I still doubted myself after that. And I think that's growing pains you go through in your 20s because you're finding yourself. But I'm about to be 40 this year. And I know who Dawn Michelle is. I know who Dawn Michelle Williams is. Not arrogant at all, but I know what I have going for me. And I know, you know, you got to have positive energy around you. You have to have people that say, man, like this is my second marriage. So this husband totally, oh my goodness. He like, oh man, oh yeah. And we got to do this. Yeah, that's a great idea. And you know, he's real like motivated. But the first one, he didn't make me feel like I was, you know, even doing anything worthwhile. It was rare I got a compliment. And that's interesting how you're surrounded, the people around you can change your view of yourself. You know, that makes a total difference.
Honestly, it does. Like,
yes.
Last night, my friend, he was basically just, we were talking and, it was really interesting because I always try to tell my friends how much I love them and care about them, because not many of us say, you know, I love you, whether it's, you know, from a friend to friend or a parent to child or whatever it is. And I just told him, you know, you deserve nothing but the best. Like, I'm so proud of you. I care about you. I have so much love in my heart for you. Like, I'm not looking at you as a partner. I'm just looking at you as a friend that I want to continue being friends with for the rest of my life. And I just want you to know that you deserve better. And not a lot of people can, you know, have said that.
Exactly.
We should really start doing more and more of that, caring for each other and just giving
a
lot of love.
Yes, absolutely. And I think it comes with practice, you know? It comes with practice. If you're constantly surrounded by people who are just doing a positive reinforcement, then it just comes natural because you're in that practice. Just like being an entrepreneur, if you're in the practice of always shooting your hustle, your 30-second pitch, whatever, it's just like natural, you know? So yeah, it just comes with practice and then understanding how to pick out who you have to cut off and who you don't.
And that too.
Yeah, that's difficult.
It's very difficult.
Yeah, because you just gotta understand who is not worth interfering with your peace. Your peace is a lot, and it's hard to cut people off, but it's a waste of time to keep going back and forth fighting people, you know?
That too. It's a struggle. It's a hassle.
Right. A complete waste of time. A complete waste of time. And that's, you know, that goes hand in hand with business too. It's like everything. And another thing, business does mix with personal. It does. Like, it's certain things you can't catch your feelings with, right? But it does mix with personal. It's at dinner conversations, your dealings. For example, if I'm this nasty, evil, you know what, behind closed doors, I'm going to be that same way in business. It's like a constant, you practicing how to better yourself. And it's either, you know, sink or swim. That's how it is. That's why you see certain business owners that go crazy. And I mentioned that in my book. It was this guy named, I don't know if you remember this. It was, his name was Uriah. No, that was the name of the company, right? I think it was like plumbing, whatever it was. He followed this black man for some miles and got in front of the black man's house, got out the car and said, no. He rolled down the window and the black man said, did you really just sit here and follow me off the highway? He said, yeah, I just wanted to tell you how much of an end you are, right? He said, excuse me? And he said it again, right? And it was unbelievable because Dawn was looking at it like, oh my God, is that a work truck? I'm telling you, like business, I'm serious. Your filter has to be together. I don't care what color you are. It's like almost like being a politician. Your filter has to be together. So when you ain't throwing away, you ain't slinging out derogatory terms. You have to be in a practice of that. So of course, you know what happened to the man. I want you to look this up when we finish. URIAH. It was called Uriah's something service. I'll probably send it to you. And of course, his business shut down. Why? Why do you think his business shut down? This is hilarious. His business shut down because the majority of his clientele were Black people. Did you hear what I said? I mean, for real. You see what I'm saying? It's like, and I touch on that, and it was another lady in the state of Washington, and, you know, she was real, I guess, religious beliefs, and a lesbian couple came in and wanted a cake, and, you know, she was saying oh my gosh, she told them no, right? And then she actually said why, that was insane, and was saying she's convicted by her religious beliefs to not give them a cake, which my thing is, okay, I got you. I'm Muslim. It's certain things that are against my religion. Okay, well, you need to get a church, okay? Because see, if you're going to open up doors for business, it's none of your business what somebody's going to do with your product. That's not your business. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, and then how far are you going to go with this? So how about your mechanic? Does it matter if he drank like a whole rack of liquor last weekend? Or how about your lawyer if they were snorting coke back in college? I mean, how far are you going to go back judging business off of somebody's personal business? It's none of your business, right? So it's like, but if you're not in the practice of filtering your mouth, right? It's going to float right in your business, and you're going to be sexist. You're going to be, you know, you're going to be racist. You're going to be this, because believe me, we at dinner tables, I have 2 children. They might say something that's inappropriate about a particular, you know, whatever, community, whatever. I'll be like, nope, this is how you're going to say this. You understand? Or you're going to mind your business, or the proper term for a transgender, or the proper term for what you're going to call a racist white person, or what you're going to call somebody who is Christian, whatever it is, you're going to understand the proper terminology to use. And it's practice, right? So I think that people get into business and they're not even understanding how to filter their mouth, because it really goes all the way around. It intermixes with how you talk behind closed doors. You understand? Like,
I agree completely.
So like, you know, like how I'm talking to you now, I've started to relax now. But my husband be like, you're so fake, because, you know, when I talk, I be like, hello, how are you? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that's about as far as the fake go, because it'd be the first part of the phone call, and I'd be like, yeah, girl, and then such, you know. But I'm still not disrespectful. I'm not going to use, you know, derogatory terms. And just like I don't even know the man's real name. He was apologizing, but he ain't racist and all this. But just like his clientele is like majority Black, my clientele is majority Christian. I grew up Christian, and then I, became Muslim as a grown adult. So why would I be sitting there on social media talking about Christians is this? You see what I'm saying? Like, that's like real stupid.
Yeah, I agree. That don't make no sense.
Right. Because it's like, I respect y'all holidays, whatever it is, sometimes they be forgetting that, I don't celebrate Christmas, and they be like, Merry Christmas, and then I don't say nothing, and they'll be like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm like, no, it's fine. I understand. Because that's y'all holiday. You know what I'm saying? But, I think it needs to be some type of boot camp, because people are like, their mouth. It's like, you can't say that. What is wrong with you?
No, I agree. Like, my friend and I, we're always, because we're communication majors, so we're always trying to figure out how to navigate this world properly. And lately, we've been seeing a lot of celebrities get exposed for 10-year tweets and 8-year tweets, and it's like, the main thing you should do when you know that you're going to be successful is delete them. Like,
or delete the whole account, because I'm about to delete my second account. I got 2 accounts. Look, that junk about to go in the trash. I didn't get crazy with it, but it's like, I could filter more, because I got my professional one, like the LinkedIn accounts and stuff like that, where but yeah, I get what you're saying, because I think, what I think it is with celebrity that you see, I think they're not used, they probably don't even realize what they were saying. You see what I'm saying? Like, think about 10 years ago, how you was talking 10 years ago. I'm not going to remember the crazy stuff I done said 10, 15, 20 years ago, because I know I have said some stuff, but at this day and age, it got to be scary for people that's like Generation Z, because it's like, you do something crazy that's on Google for the rest of your freaking life. That gotta be horrifying.
I know, it's extremely scary, because even the things that you like you said, I didn't even know I tweeted that. When did I tweet that?
Right. Exactly. And then, look at Kevin Hart, I thought that was so ridiculous when he already apologized for saying it. He said something about, I forgot. He said something that was derogatory towards the LGBT community. And I think he was about to be able to be a host on something else again. And they want him to apologize again, right? I would have just apologized, but right. But I'm not him. So he might be irritated, like, I ain't got to keep But that's interesting how they want him to keep apologizing for something that he said, some time ago. A lot of us have said some craziness. That's where growth comes from. Look at how you change when you have children. My God, I know that changed me. Yeah. It changes you significantly, because it's like, oh my gosh, like, you can't even curse like you used to when you have kids. They repeat everything,
That's what I heard.
Oh my gosh, yes. That's when, oh my goodness. Because I know the baby, he's 12. I remember he was going to the babysitter, and she was saying he was calling her a B, right? And I was like, what? Oh, he didn't get that from us? So I'm defensive, right? I'm like defensive. And then it was later on, we was watching a show, and then my husband, you know how men do when they watching shows like football and screaming like that. So he's screaming at the TV. And then right after he cursed, then the baby started cursing. I said, oh. Oh, so this, a lot of times, even now, if you see some of my videos, I'll be like, and then they go on F and do, like, I don't say like the whole word, I'll use the letter, because I'm transitioning into not cursing. Like, I'm trying to wipe it out altogether.
Right. I understand. Sometimes you just gotta let it out in some ways.
Yeah, because it's like, what? What is it? Yeah.
But I love that. I just love your energy, and I love this book, and I can't. When is it coming out again? I just want my audience to know.
Valentine's Day 2021. So it's coming. Look, I already got that junk uploaded to Amazon. It's ready, honey. You can pre-order it on Kindle. It's up. Wow. I was not playing. That man, I'm telling you, anybody who want to write a book, I have to drop this nugget. Anybody who's writing a book. The Kyle Dandy, I'm telling you, he got a $36 course. And he will walk you through from the beginning to the end, all the way up to how to upload it. He give you he give you spreadsheets. This course is worth way more than $36. And I don't even know if it's still $36, but man, so I'm on point, honey. I just uploaded that thing this week. So
I cannot wait to pre-order it and just read and just let these followers know to this is good. This is some good content.
Thank you.
No problem. So,
and then I meant to mention go ahead.
Oh no, you're fine.
I meant to mention my podcast specifically focuses on entrepreneurs. So it's I think that the importance of it is, it's just new. I just started it. But the importance of it is that a lot of entrepreneurs have not even had an interview, right? So most people I've interviewed, this like their first interview. It's more so to get you in the practice of give me your pitch, get out the nervousness. Like I interviewed my husband. He's in the second season. That's going to air on June 19th. And to get that interview, my husband's very shy. He's not like me. We're opposites. He's very, very shy. So I'm his wife. We've been married for this going on 13 years. And so he was shy giving me the interview. So I noticed that a lot of people that I talk to that are entrepreneurs are shy, So when I was talking to him, I was like, because he was like, can we just do it later? I said, why? I know I hurt people's feelings because I'm so direct a lot of times and I'm loud. So I was like, I said, what? I don't understand why y'all do that. I said, you know how many people I come across where I'll be like, we about to do the interview, right? And then they go, oh my God, I'm not ready. I said, what is that? What are you even talking about? Like, don't you always have to be on? Like, if you meet somebody at the post office or something, you got to be able to throw them a business card and sell them your pitch in like 15 seconds. What are you talking about? You're not ready. What you going to say? I'm going to go to the car and read a script. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
But that's what, so some people I had to be like soften my approach and come back and be like, I'm going to hold your hand through this. Like, I'm all the way like, if you need help with a .com, like I had to give my husband a .com. He has a band. I had to do like different people. If you need help with a business card or throwing up a social media, I'm getting you ready for my interview that I'm about to interview you on, right? So that's the importance of what I'm doing. It's not, it's more so to prepare entrepreneurs for talking, publicly.
Right. And I'm really glad that he at least, said yes to it and got his courage together and made it happen.
Oh no, I had to trick him. I had to. Okay, so this is how I start off, right? I need to do that as a blooper. I'm gonna air it as a blooper. One of the parts. I say, here I go. If you listen to that front, I'll be like this. And this is Dawn. I always say, and this is Dawn of Research Shows. And today we're interviewing. That's how I start, right? He was like, oh my God, that's fake. That's, why are you talking like that? That ain't how you talk, right? So he was like, I don't want to do this right now, right? So then I sat down and then I said what I said about why do y'all do this? And then I sat down, I said, so how about we start at the number 3 question? So when I started at a different question, he sat across the room. If you listen to it, you can hear like an echo. He wouldn't even sit next to me. So it was like, I got him to talk by going into the 3rd question and then going into his passion. And that made his face light up. And it's about my husband, right? So you can imagine how I gotta make other people feel comfortable in their first interview. Cause they like, I'm not used to this and that. So I gotta basically come in. I'm like, I'm not coming for you. I'm just, you just relax.
Right.
I give you the questions in advance, so I'm not catching you off guard. Like I get him a list. This is what I'm gonna ask. Okay, I'm not gonna deviate from this. That's why the interview's on like 5 minutes.
Oh, that's good though. Like it's good to just let people know, hey, this is like a transcript is great, writing notes is great, just having a few questions is good. So yes. And where can we find this podcast?
Oh, okay. So that one is easy. That's at diditmakeyousmile.com. It'll take you right there. And that's the same website for the research department. So you know how you click the menu bar, it'll take you home. But diditmakeyousmile.com. Did It Make You Smile is the podcast. So it's called Research Shows, and I'm kind of juggling between that and then the research departments, which is the same site, and the packages. Because basically, I got classes and all that kind of stuff, tutorials, how you going to design videos and stuff like that. And I want you to take the time to go to the research department's Instagram. I want you to scroll all the way to the bottom, the very first post, and then scroll up and see the progression. Especially, even go to Dawn Michelle Salon. That's a real big one. Go from the bottom to the top, and you'll see my progression of how I learn how to do digital content and all that different kind of stuff. And then I'm basically sharing that knowledge with you. So we have a free plan right now. It's free for the first 30 days, but you got to sign up before the end of February, just so you can get your feet wet and see what the heck it is. And it's no obligation. You don't got to submit your credit card or nothing. You can sign up with just your phone number, email, and that's it. And it's on a Discord server. So I'm concentrating on that right now. So that's the researchdepartments.com, and then diditmakeyousmile.com.
Yes, I love it. I see it right now on my phone. I can't wait to listen to these episodes. I am so excited.
Yeah, so Did It Make You Smile actually has the episodes on the actual website. So you know, they're only 5-minute episodes. So I got a hairdresser, that's my niece. I got a hairdresser / barber, that's another lady. Paul, that's my guy I go to for the 5-digit number I was speaking on. A realtor. That was my first lady, Lolita, and then Soleil. Soleil is a client of mine, and she's a singer. So she's a musical artist. So yeah, that's my first season.
Oh, yeah, I love it. And I love the graphics that you have going on here too.
Thank you. I'm trying. I just now found somebody to delegate all my stuff to. I'm so grateful. This man, oh my God, he got in my DM. And this man is a guy in my area. He got his own server and everything. He could build websites and all that. And it's not even that expensive. It's under $100. I said, oh my God, yes. Because I can't take this no more.
Yes.
I was like, oh, I'm so grateful. He about to build my stuff and have an app and all that stuff.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm excited.
We gotta support the people that are around us, our local businesses, for these things, because it's really good to like organize and create and collaborate.
Absolutely. And his thing is Vishon Media. I'm just looking up right now. VISHUN Media. And just look at his thing. He got his own server. I said, oh my gosh, he said he's been doing this stuff for 20 years. So I'm excited. he about to develop the app. I'm gonna post that thing. I'm excited. He's from the DC area too. He said he's in this area. So
oh, that's great. Yes. Yeah. So before I forget, yes. Where is your salon located?
Oh, it's in Hyattsville. Anybody from Maryland? It's like adjacent to PG Plaza in the University Town Center, 3704 East West Highway, Suite 123. That's in Hyattsville.
I was over there like last week.
Really?
Yes.
Wow! And the Phoenix Salon Suites up on the top near MedStar.
Yes.
Right near the Safeway. Yep, I'm right there.
Oh my gosh.
I've been there since 2017. So I like it. See, I mean, me and the owner fought it out, but I like it. Because it's so pretty when you walk in. It looks like, you know, you drive up the ramp and the way it's just nice. I like going to work, you know?
Yeah.
So
well, I'm happy. We have to link one of these days. I have to.
Absolutely.
I would love to meet you and bring along some people, because I know we've been trying to find people to do our hair and it's been a struggle.
Oh. Well, that is me. 25% off, girl. Text Dawn to 22452. Yes. Opt in.
Yeah, my question for you is, are there any words of wisdom you have for young entrepreneurs or just people who are thinking of starting a business and have doubts?
Oh my God. Get yourself legal. And the reason why, because I know when I first started the legal stuff, my husband was like, why are you doing all that? You ain't got to do all that. Yes, you do. Because as soon as somebody see the potential in you that you don't see in yourself, that's one phone number they call and shut your whole business down. So get registered. And let me tell you how how it all came to fruition at this given point in time. Look at how the pandemic, how us people who have businesses got our unemployment, right? If you didn't register your business with the IRS and with the state of Maryland, you're committing fraud by getting a freaking unemployment check, and they investigating and pulling them checks back. Them people is facing jail time. So it's important, even if you're claiming zero, get your EIN number. It's free at the IRS. I believe I have a tutorial on that on my Instagram, on the research department. It's quick, it's easy, do not pay. It's free. And it's irs.gov. Get your EIN number, foundation, and then another thing I didn't know, register with the state of Maryland. That's free. If you do it just as a sole proprietorship or as a partnership, get it. Because by law, you cannot conduct business in the state of Maryland without having that. I don't even know if that's considered a business license. That's just registering your business with the state of Maryland. And another thing, if you're selling retail, honey, they got a hotline for that. You got to think far on who's going to turn you in. That's what you got to think about. And, oh yeah, let me ask you this, Ms. Tashika, because I didn't know this. How much you think a retail license costs? I want you to guess.
Does it cost, $200?
$20.
Really?
Yes, for the year. So there is no excuse. Anybody who's listening to me, there is absolutely no excuse for you not to go pay that $20 and get your freaking business registered. If you do it as a drop ship, do it. Get the retail license, because this is the thing. You can claim zero. You just say you didn't make any money, and I'm not telling you to lie. I'm serious. You're not making any money. Then say it. I made zero. I don't plan on having employees, because you gotta have backup just in case somebody's gonna turn you in. That's the name of the game. It be your own people. It might be somebody of a different race. It don't matter. They look at you and they call and they report you. Get licensed and have your stuff together. Do not be playing around. You understand? That's what I would say. Get your stuff legal. And taxes, because believe me, I ain't got everything perfect, because I'm just now going with, I found a tax guy. I forgot his name. It was Corey something. Might be Corey Johnson. I'm about to be going with him. This man, or as soon as I talked to him, I knew he was the right person, because he told me to get QuickBooks. QuickBooks is $15 a month, bro, y'all. You hear me? All this time, I've been doing my own paperwork, just a hot mess, ended up getting audited. Do you know when I got on QuickBooks, they upload all your account information in like 60 seconds, that you just connect the bank account. They sorted out all my receipts instantly. I said, all this time I've been wasting time. So that's the importance of research department. Stop wasting your time. You're going to spend 5 to 6 years trying to find connections. When you come to me, I'm a freaking open book. You understand? The majority of what you're paying for is if I got to sit down and walk you through stuff, right? You're going to pay me, okay? But it's a whole lot of free resources that I have, because it's about networking. And networking ain't about, and I know I got a lot of nuggets, you just asked for that, but this is the last thing I would say. Networking is not what you think it is. It's not like, when I thought of networking, I was thinking like these white men in business suits have at cocktail parties. That is not networking. Networking is your neighbor you just had an attitude with, or that post office man you rolled your eyes at, or your auto mechanic that you hold your nose up at and think you better than. All these people are potential clients, because 90% of people I ask that's on this podcast, on my podcast, in fact, 99% of people are people I kept good connections with, and that I just asked and they said yes. Even a realtor who sold us the house is going to be on season 2. So it's important that you get yourself together in regards to maintaining decent relationships with people. You don't have to like them, but it's called being cordial. It's important in business, because you have to maintain connections and not burn bridges. And get yourself legal. Legal. That's what my advice is. Legal.
Yes, you heard Miss Dawn. Be legal. Don't get arrested. We don't need no more black faces.
Yes, because they waiting to turn you in, honey. It be your own people turn you in. They will turn you in a heartbeat.
Yeah. So Miss Dawn, where should they follow you?
Okay, so the research departments, it's just spelled just like that, one word straight across. The research department's on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. Twitter, I got to update it, but I am on Twitter. We got a daggone, Umar, my baby, just did a Snapchat account for me. And what's that new TikTok? Oh my gosh. Look, my baby did a tutorial on TikTok. So I probably got one post on TikTok. Okay, so I'm on all these platforms. Follow me.
Sounds just like my mom.
I feel so bad. I'm not even that old. I'm just like, I don't understand. Like my baby, this is so funny. I'm just telling somebody, Umar had to tell me, I thought I lost the book, right? Because I don't understand Microsoft Word. It has changed so much. It has changed. Like since like the 90s and stuff, it has changed. So I'm used to Google Docs. But the only way a book editor could edit your book is through Microsoft Word. I was lost. I was about to be in tears. I said, Umar, can you please help me? I don't know what happened to the book. Just 2 clicks, he pulled it up. So I want to help you out with that too, because it's overwhelming sometimes when you're not used to different interfaces and all that. Yes.
You do got a point. You do. It's so hard.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Miss Dawn, for just being.
Thank you.
For being a signing spirit for this episode. You're amazing.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's been great, Miss Tashika. It was wonderful meeting you.
And I hope that you can, I am inviting you to another episode. Hopefully, if I talk about some other entrepreneurial stuff, I will definitely link with you again.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I love this. This is awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And I got somebody that taught more than me, honey, and he's a financial literacy teacher. So you just let me know and I will hook you up, honey. He is financial literacy. Dr. Rome. Oh, honey.
That is definitely something I need.
Yes, we're doing all that. Go on that website. We're doing all of that, honey.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. And all my listeners, if you got to the end of this episode, please like, subscribe, follow Miss Dawn, and hopefully you'll be back for another episode. So
absolutely.
And thank you again, Miss Dawn, and have a wonderful evening.
You too.
Astro.